Hey everybody, and welcome back. My name is Sue and I am from OML Embroidery, and today in this video this is what we're going to make. A large applique letter. Now this is in my 8x8 quilting hoop. So a large applique letter, a large applique design on it. We're going to experiment a little bit, and a name with a groovy font because I like groovy fonts. So let's get started. Now I want to point out that this design is set up as a partial applique. So when I stitch it out, and here's the picture of it stitched out, there's no bumps of the satin going underneath, and you can see it does it perfectly. Let's do Control Z and put that back, and it looks fantastic. So let's go to New, and I'm still going to use my 8x8 hoop. I'm going to right click on it though. I don't know if you guys have ever encountered this before. Before I fix it, let me tell you what it is, because it drives me absolutely nuts. And I know a lot of people have posted, my hoop goes all over the place. So let me show you what it does, and then let me show you how to fix it. So let's just do a number, and we're going to insert it. Whoops, insert it. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger so we can see it. Now I have the automatic centering on, not at needle position. And so what that means is it's going to automatically set your design in the center no matter what you do with it. So your hoop does move all over the place. If it happens, you just go on here and you put manual, and then you can move it around as much as you want. So yes, if your hoop is moving all over the place, control it with a manual control there, and it'll make your life so much easier. I find it annoying. Sometimes it can be handy if you have the whole design selected and you switch it over, but other than that, nope, drives me crazy. So, okay, we've got our number. Now, that's just a stitched out number, and frankly, it wouldn't look the greatest because these are long satin stitches that are going to split, and it's not applique. So, the first thing I want to do is find a better font. So, the fatter the font, the better it's going to work for applique. You know, it might be convenient to get a font that is already applique or letters that are already applique. And as a matter of fact, there are some built in to Hatch. But if you want something different, you can just do it yourself. So yeah, wow, that's looking terrible. But ignore the long stitches right now. I don't want block. I want something a little better. Now you can see it right on the edge here to the right. You can see what it's going to look like. Border block won't work. So what we're looking for is something fat that'll work better. So, Okay, I've selected a stencil block because it's nice and wide and it's going to work perfectly. So now, if you are working in Hatch, we have a few shortcuts we can use. If you are not in Hatch, it's still really easy to do. It's not magic, and it's going to look fantastic. So what I see here is a template. So if you have the Hatch shortcuts, we'll go ahead and do that. If you don't, you can always trace the outline in it and then convert it to applique or make it into applique. Or if you don't have that, you just copy and paste. The second one will be zigzag, and the third one is going to be satin stitch. That's the basic 3 steps of applique. So either way we can do it. So the first thing we need to do, let's go check out our applique tab right here, applique. And what I want to use, convert to applique, is not available. It's not available. Why? Because over here, object type is a letter. So you can't convert a letter to applique. It doesn't work that way. We need to have it just hatch, just see it as a design. So let's go back up into our lettering, and what we have to do is break apart. And there you go, break apart. Now, if you had a letter in different pieces, you want to put it all together and you want to weld it together. What you want is one piece. Now, if you can't figure that out or you don't like doing that, you can still just go and outline it, and then you can convert it to applique. So let's head on back to the applique one and select it, and look, our convert to applique is done because the object type is now just stitches. And I did change it to tatami. Those satin stitches were torturing me, so I did change it. So convert to applique, and look, we got the first one done. So you can use that procedure for any letter in any alphabet, in any software. You may not have the convert to applique, which is handy. It's super handy, but you can still use it as an outline. So as a guide, it's kind of a built-in guide. Think outside the box, right? So what else can we do with this? You could import in a little design that you have, even a purchased design. Remember not to change the size of it because it'll be a stitch file. Now, this is not a stitch file. This is an EMB file. So if I want to make it bigger at this point, I certainly can. So let's make it a little bit bigger. I kind of like that one. It's pretty groovy. If you find your font is a little thin, you can make it a little thicker, and actually I think that looks better. The most important thing right now is to make sure the object type is applique right over here. We want it to say applique and we don't want it to change. So, okay, let's bring in a design. What can we do? I was thinking we could make a shape. So let's go under digitize. Let's go under standard shapes. And I snooped around. Maybe a shield or stars would be cool. I thought that would be kind of neat, maybe. But I picked a circle, or a flower. Sorry, it's not a circle. And you just pull it out, and I'm going to hold down the control key to keep it even. So it's not like this. If you hit the control key, it stays symmetrical. So that's what we want. And I want it about that big. Click and let go. Well, we don't want it like that. Go back to your select key. And, well, we don't have to actually do anything. See, this star here means it's a closed shape. So we should be able to do nothing more than convert to applique. So that is a real time saver. Now, you can do it like this. You could put another flower around here, or you could do it like I did and move it over top. You could even do this on this one because the number's different. Now, the problem is we're going to be cutting into everything, and this are going to show big lines through. So let's select them both, and we're going to go to partial applique. And boom, look what happens. So all it does is cut off the satin stitches so they're not underneath. You still need your full placement line, and you still need your zigzag and tack down. You'll be doing the number 1 first. It has to be first. It's the lowest. It's the first thing we want to do. It's the lowest on the layers. So the first layer is the one, the second one is the flower. So really cool so far. That works excellent. Now, if you don't have all these handy dandy shortcut keys, you would have to do this in pieces. And it's not that hard. It's not that hard. So you have your shapes, you put them on top of each other, then you digitize, you know, a running stitch from here to here all the way around, and then copy and paste, and then change it to zigzag. And now when you're doing your satin stitch, you start from here, go to here, and you can connect it. These are not connected. You could change it to running stitch, connect to here, and do these satin stitches and make them so they overlap a tiny little bit, and it'll be just as perfect, actually maybe even a little bit better because you've connected them, and I think that's awesome. And then of course do the flower in the 3 steps. You don't need to cut it up or anything, but you can see up here we still have applique, we still have applique, and you can see in the little icon here that we have it cut out. You can see the colors underneath. So I'm going to change this to maybe pink, and I'm going to change that to maybe that. So that's basically our applique. Now again, if you're going to do numbers and letters, they can't be too small. You have to have some of the fabric showing. So keep that in mind. And like I said, if you're not using Hatch, if you're using other software, then you just have to manually digitize this part. Now, if you guys would like a video showing those things, make sure you leave me a comment, and then I'll know if there's a lot of people to do it and say PE Design or Embrilliance or Embird, then I will go ahead and do it in each of those. So awesome. Let's move on. We're just going to do a name now. I think these are really cute for little ones, or for, you know, the 100th day of school or something like that. And again, you can bring in your own designs or purchase designs. Just make sure you don't resize them. And you can kind of, you know, tuck it in there, or, you know, put an animal there or something that the kids' favorite something. I'm just doing a flower. Now, you can embellish on this flower. I left it plain, but you could draw a circle in it, you could add some points, you could do something really pretty like that. The only thing is you have to make sure your stitching order that it stitches out after. We must have it after. So, okay, there we go. Now, all we have left to do is the name. And you can pick a groovy font. If you made this bigger, you could actually put a monogram in there. It's kind of small for a monogram. It could work depending on which one you pick, but you don't need you know, a frame to it. You've just made your own framed monogram. Very cool. But I'm going to do letters, and I'm going to do my oldest, Samantha. And we kind of don't want it plain, although you know what? Plain actually looks just fine. We want to coordinate the colors, so we'll make it pink. She's not a pink person, but that's okay. And then, of course, pick your font. Now, if you don't have all these fancy schmancy fonts, it's a little bit off screen, so you can't see them all, but it gives you a lovely preview of it, and I really like that. That is one of my favorite things. I really like it. So you could do something like that. Flowers in it. I would like this a little bit bigger. It's a little bit complicated. Let's see. That one's nice. That will stitch out nice. I like it. So I tend to gravitate towards the built-in fonts first because they are actually digitized for embroidery, and they usually work better. Now this is the Ballantine script, and I'm going to go with this one. Now, if you wanted to do something like this, you could, because we've eliminated the extra layers, it's not going to make too much of a difference. So you could do that. I don't think that looks the greatest, but you could certainly, you know, do something like this. It's a little bit of stitching to go through. You could, no, I don't like it. I just put it underneath, and I thought that was great. And you know what? You can add some swirls. You can make it fancier, but isn't that really cute? So it's a matter of layering properly. It's a matter of using your embroidery fonts in any software as a template and making up your own applique. Let's watch our design stitch out so you can see how perfect it is with the partial applique. I just love it. I just love it. See, it's stitching the satin stitch right now around the bottom, and it stops so we don't have any overlaps. Isn't that looking fantastic? Now I know it's puckered a little bit, and that's my own fault. This is the second applique at super mega speed. Doesn't it look great? I'm so happy with it. It's so nice not to have the bulky satin stitch lines. Look at this, is the back of the embroidery, and you can see where the satin stitches stop, and it looks amazing front and back. So thanks everyone for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys will do some large number appliques from your fonts. Thanks everyone for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!